Back in the swinging 60s, F Troop brought hilarity to the Old West, with its bumbling soldiers' witty humor and unforgettable cast. Though it lasted only 2 seasons, the series became a cult favorite, remembered for its lovable chaos and charm. But what happened to the actors after the dust settled at Fort Courage? Some found long careers in film and television, while others stepped away from Hollywood or faced personal battles that shaped their later years. Now, in 2025, we look back on the stars who made F Troop a comedy gem and uncover where life's journey has taken them since their wild days on the frontier. Larry Storch, born January 8, 1923 in New York City, was 42 when he began portraying Corporal Randolph Agarn in F Troop, the bumbling, endearing sidekick who delivered slapstick physical comedy and endless charm in equal measure. Agarn was a master of chaos, a character whose heart was as large as his capacity for absurdity, and audiences responded to his antics with laughter and warmth. Storch's childhood, however, was marked by hardship growing up in Depression-era New York. His family struggled financially, and he faced bullying and ridicule that forced him to suppress vulnerability and develop resilience traits that later informed his comedic timing and instinct for physical humor. Professionally, Storch's career was long and varied, but it wasn't without obstacles. He experienced repeated typecasting, with producers hesitant to cast him in serious roles, and he occasionally clashed with directors over creative interpretation and improvisation on set. Despite these professional challenges, he became a beloved figure in voice acting, famously bringing characters such as the Joker in early Batman cartoons to life, earning respect for versatility and dedication. Storch avoided personal scandals, but he did navigate private struggles, including financial mismanagement early in his career and the emotional weight of losing close family members. His off-screen persona combined warmth, generosity, and loyalty, balancing a life in entertainment with service as a Navy veteran. Larry Storch passed away on July 8, 2022, at age 99, leaving an estimated net worth between $1 million and $5 million. His legacy is defined by the ability to craft enduring comedy, while maintaining humility, resilience, and a quiet generosity that enriched colleagues' lives, even as he maintained a mischievous, larger-than-life presence on screen. Melody Patterson, born April 16, 1949, in Inglewood, California, was only 16 years old when she cunningly lied about her age to land the role of Wrangler Jane Angelica Thrift in F Troop in 1965, a part that would define her early career. Wrangler Jane was a spirited, sharpshooting tomboy whose fearless, independent attitude and comedic timing made her an instant fan favorite, often stealing scenes with her interactions with Captain Parmenter and the bumbling soldiers of Fort Courage. Despite her on-screen charm, Melody's off-screen life was far from idyllic. She grew up in a fractured household where her father was largely absent, leaving her mother to struggle financially and emotionally, forcing young Melody to develop resilience, self-reliance, and a guarded emotional life. The pressures of child stardom compounded her personal challenges as she navigated a Hollywood environment that objectified young women and demanded constant maturity beyond her years. She faced typecasting after F Troop ended, and her brief marriage to James MacArthur, a prominent actor, attracted attention. She was unprepared for adding tension and scrutiny to her private life. Health issues later took a toll, culminating in multiple organ failure that led to her death on August 20, 2015, at age 66, after a long illness. Financially, she maintained a modest lifestyle, with her net worth estimated between $1 million and $5 million accumulated from television residuals, stage performances, and selective acting roles in later years. Melody's life exemplifies the collision of early fame, family instability, and the relentless pressures of Hollywood, leaving behind a legacy of charm, resilience, and a memorable contribution to television comedy that continues to endear her to audiences decades later, while also reflecting the hidden costs of youthful success in an unforgiving industry. Ken Berry, born November 3, 1933 in Moline, Illinois, joined F Troop in 1965 at age 32 as Captain Wilton Parmenter, the accident-prone, soft-spoken officer who somehow became a reluctant hero amidst the chaos of Fort Courage. Parmenter's endearing naivete, unwavering optimism, and accidental heroism provided the perfect counterbalance to Tucker's cunning O'Rourke and Storch's bungling Agarn, making him a linchpin of the show's comedic ensemble. Berry's early life was a mix of discipline and artistic immersion. He trained extensively in dance and singing, including mentorship from Leonard Nimoy during his Army service, which instilled in him both a strong work ethic and a sense of precision that would shape his career. However, he experienced early setbacks due to financial instability, the pressure of performing in a competitive industry, and periods of rejection in auditions that tested his resolve. Berry's career faced occasional turbulence. He struggled with being typecast in wholesome, accident-prone roles, and behind-the-scenes disagreements arose from his perfectionist approach, which sometimes clashed with directors' expectations. Personal life challenges included navigating relationships under the public eye, coping with health problems that intensified with age, and enduring the loss of peers and colleagues, which contributed to emotional strain. Off-screen, Berry's discipline and versatility allowed him to thrive across television, Broadway, and Disney projects, crafting a steady and respected career despite setbacks. He died on December 1, 2018, at age 85 from heart complications. At his death, Berry's net worth was estimated at $5 million, reflecting decades of sustained artistic endeavor, a reputation for professionalism, and the ability to balance public affection with private dedication, leaving behind a career and legacy defined by endurance talent and the artful portrayal of a gentle, resilient hero in the often chaotic world of entertainment. James Hampton, born July 9, 1936 in Oklahoma City, was 29 when he joined F Troop in 1965 as Private Hannibal Dobbs, the hapless, well-meaning bugler whose inability to play a note became a central comedic motif for the series. Dobbs's innocence, loyalty, and endearing naivety made him a beloved character, a foil to the chaos around him, and a symbol of sincerity amid absurdity, resonating with audiences who appreciated his understated humor. Off-screen, Hampton's upbringing was marked by adversity. He grew up during the tail end of the Great Depression, in a household that faced economic hardship and emotional neglect, compelling him to cultivate a disciplined work ethic and a tendency to mask vulnerability. Professionally, he endured the challenges of typecasting with F Troop, reinforcing a persona he struggled to expand beyond, and he navigated behind-the-scenes tensions due to his perfectionist tendencies and occasional disagreements with fellow cast members. Personal life challenges included 2 marriages, navigating the complex demands of work and family, and the isolation inherent in a career that required constant travel and adaptability. Health struggles emerged later in life, with Parkinson's disease gradually limiting his activities and mobility. Hampton passed away on April 7, 2021 at age 84 from complications related to Parkinson's disease. His net worth at the time of death is estimated between $1 million and $14 million, derived from decades of acting, directing, and residuals reflecting a steady but disciplined career in entertainment. His life is a testament to resilience, adaptability, and professionalism, revealing the often hidden personal sacrifices and quiet persistence required to maintain longevity in Hollywood, while leaving behind a body of work that continues to entertain new generations. Bob Steele, born January 23, 1907 in Portland, Oregon, was 58 when he joined F Troop in 1965 as Trooper Duffy, The grizzled veteran whose endless war stories, quirky wisdom, and sardonic humor provided both comic relief and narrative cohesion for the show. Duffy's character was a peculiar mix of senility and insight, often outwitting younger soldiers in ways that were subtly subversive, making him both a source of laughter and reflection for audiences. Steele's early life was far from glamorous. Born Robert Adrian Bradbury, he grew up during the Great Depression, experiencing poverty, familial instability, and the early death of a sibling, which left him with a persistent fear of failure and a deep drive to achieve recognition. His career, while prolific, spanning over 200 B-Westerns, silent films, and early talkies, was not without challenges. Steele endured periods of obscurity, struggled with the transition from film to television, and at times was criticized for his stubbornly old-school acting style, which clashed with directors and younger co-stars. Rumors circulated about his alcoholism and difficult temperament, which sometimes created tension on set, and he faced professional envy from emerging actors who viewed him as a relic of a bygone era. Steele's personal life reflected his restless nature. He was married multiple times, with marriages marked by discord, separations, and allegations of infidelity, and he reportedly had strained relationships with his children. Later in life, he battled emphysema, a condition exacerbated by decades of smoking, ultimately succumbing to the illness on December 21, 1988, at age 81 in Los Angeles. Despite the turbulence, Steele amassed significant wealth through decades of work, with estimates ranging from $1 million to $15 million, though the higher figures may reflect industry exaggerations. His legacy endures as a bridge between the golden age of Westerns and the television era, emblematic of resilience, humor, and the price of longevity in show business. Forrest Tucker, born February 12, 1919 in Plainfield, Indiana, joined F Troop in 1965 at the age of 46 as Sergeant Morgan O'Rourke, the wily, cigar-chomping conman who ran Fort Courage with a mix of charm, cunning, and audacity. O'Rourke was a character who thrived on deception and opportunism, endlessly scheming to profit from every possible angle while maintaining a disarmingly affable exterior. Audiences loved him for his charisma, quick wit, and the way he bent rules without ever seeming malicious, a performance that showcased Tucker's mastery of timing and subtle nuance. Tucker's childhood was far from easy. Growing up in a family that struggled financially, during the Great Depression he experienced frequent upheaval, poverty, and the social stigma of being an outsider, which forced him to cultivate resilience and a certain charm that masked insecurity. At the time of his death, Tucker's net worth was approximately $5 million accumulated through decades of film, television, and stage work, cementing a legacy of charm, complexity, and resilience, whose public persona barely hinted at the private struggles, indulgences, and relentless drive that defined his life. Frank DeCova, born March 17, 1910 in New York City, was 55 when he took on the role of Chief Wild Eagle in F Troop in 1965, portraying the clever, sarcastic, and financially savvy leader of the Hakawi tribe who consistently outwitted the soldiers of Fort Courage through wit, cunning, and subtle social commentary. Wild Eagle's persona combined intelligence, humor, and a shrewd sense of opportunism, providing the show with both comedic tension and narrative depth. And DeCova's performance elevated what could have been a one-dimensional stereotype into a memorable and multifaceted character. Born to working-class immigrant parents, DeCova's early life was marked by poverty, societal marginalization, and exposure to the harsh realities of New York City, which instilled in him a drive for self-improvement and a profound work ethic. He began as a school teacher before transitioning into acting, navigating decades of typecasting in villainous or ethnically specific roles, frequently clashing with directors and producers over artistic integrity and authenticity. His personal life was relatively private, marked by discreet relationships and the challenges of maintaining a family life while immersed in the unpredictable entertainment industry. Career setbacks included periods of unemployment roles, cut or minimized, and the constant struggle of character actors to achieve recognition and financial stability in Hollywood. Dakova died peacefully in his sleep on October 15, 1981, at age 71 from heart failure. While his exact net worth was never publicly documented, estimates place it under $1 million, reflecting the typical earnings of a prolific but supporting actor of his era. His legacy endures through his work on F Troop and other films and television appearances, illustrating the intersection of talent, perseverance, and the societal constraints faced by actors in mid-20th century America, while also revealing the quiet sacrifices and unheralded resilience behind a career that brought joy and laughter to audiences but demanded constant professional vigilance. John Mitchum, born September 6, 1919, in Bridgeport, Connecticut, was 46 when he appeared in F Troop as Trooper Hoffenmüller, the German-accented cook whose deadpan humor, obsessive love for sauerkraut, and slapstick mishaps added a distinctive flavor to the ensemble cast. Hoffenmüller's presence provided a subtle recurring comic thread, balancing the chaos of the fort's more flamboyant characters with understated eccentricity that resonated with audiences seeking both absurdity and relatability. Mitchum's early life was shaped by financial insecurity and the shadow of his famous older brother Robert Mitchum, which created a complex mix of opportunity and expectation. John constantly had to negotiate the dual pressures of familial legacy and personal identity, leading to periods of self-doubt and a quiet, determined approach to his craft. His career, largely composed of supporting roles in Western's war films and television, was steady, but rarely prominent, and he faced the frustration of limited recognition despite decades of work. Though not publicly scandalous, Mitchum endured private difficulties including marital instability, occasional conflicts with producers over creative input, and the challenge of sustaining a livelihood as a character actor in Hollywood's highly competitive landscape. His health declined with age, and he suffered a fatal stroke on November 29, 2001 at age 82 in Los Angeles, leaving behind a modest estate estimated around $500,000, reflecting the limited financial rewards of supporting work. Despite the lack of fame compared to his brother, Mitchum's legacy lies in his dependable, nuanced character work that added depth, humor, and authenticity to countless productions, highlighting the often overlooked contributions of supporting actors in shaping television and film comedy. Benny Baker, born May 5, 1907 in St. Joseph, Missouri, was 58 when he appeared as Pete in F Troop in 1965, a minor but memorable character whose bumbling charm, quick wit, and vaudevillian timing added layers of comic relief to the series' chaotic antics. Pete's appeal lay in his everyman persona, which Baker honed over decades in stage, film, and television, often playing the rotund, affable sidekick whose flaws made him endearing. Baker's early life was marked by financial instability and social derision, forcing him to develop a performative resilience and an instinct for humor that could charm audiences despite personal adversity. Throughout his career, Baker navigated constant challenges, repeated typecasting in minor or supporting roles, sporadic work, and periods of financial insecurity left him frustrated and at times bitter toward Hollywood's gatekeepers. Off-screen, he struggled with alcohol dependency in the late 1950s, a challenge he ultimately confronted, but which temporarily affected his reliability and reputation. Baker's personal life mirrored his professional turbulence. Multiple short-lived marriages, complicated family dynamics, and sporadic romantic entanglements reflected both his restlessness and his search for stability, which remained elusive. Despite these trials, he maintained a steady career and a presence in comedy, that earned him lasting recognition. Baker died on September 20th, 1994, at age 87 from heart disease, leaving an estate of modest means estimated under $1 million. His life encapsulates the quiet hardships endured by character actors, revealing the personal costs and sacrifices behind a long career in entertainment, and demonstrating the enduring power of comic talent in shaping audiences' joy, even when financial and social rewards were limited. Edward Everett Horton, born March 18, 1886 in Brooklyn, New York, was 79 years old when he joined F Troop in 1965 as Roaring Chicken, the Hekawi tribe's eccentric medicine man, whose peculiar wisdom, dry humor, and mischievous timing made him an unforgettable presence in the series. Horton's Roaring Chicken was the perfect blend of sly intelligence and absurdity, serving as both a moral compass and comedic counterweight to the hapless soldiers of Fort Courage. Horton's childhood was riddled with hardship. His parents' divorce left him emotionally vulnerable, while frequent teasing and financial strain instilled in him a deep sense of insecurity that he often masked with humor. These early experiences nurtured a lifelong obsession with perfection and discipline in his craft, but also contributed to his reclusive and eccentric nature later in life, which estranged him from Hollywood's social circles. Despite an extensive career in over 120 films, Horton struggled with typecasting as the befuddled gentleman, limiting his opportunities for more substantial or leading roles, which caused periods of frustration and professional disappointment. Off-screen, he was notoriously private, living in a sprawling Encino estate filled with rare books, antiques, and curiosities, reflecting both his refined tastes and solitary tendencies. Horton's personal life remained largely scandal-free, though his obsessive routines and insistence on control sometimes created tension on set, and he reportedly had a difficult time forming close friendships within the industry. He passed away on September 29, 1970, at age 84 from cancer, leaving a net worth estimated at $1 million, modest for someone whose influence spanned decades of theater, film, and television. Horton's legacy endures as a testament to resilience and artistry, a man who transformed personal insecurities into nuanced performances, blending intellect, wit, and subtle eccentricity in a way that left an indelible mark on American comedy. Harvey Perry, born April 23, 1900 in San Francisco, was 65 when he appeared in F Troop in 1965 as Charlie, a minor but visually captivating character whose presence highlighted the physical comedy and stunt-driven humor of the series. Charlie epitomized Perry's daring approach to performance. Every scene, though small, carried the risk and precision of a seasoned stuntman whose reputation was forged through decades of high-risk work, doubling for stars such as Harold Lloyd Clark Gable and Shirley Temple. Perry's childhood was fraught with instability and loss, including the death of his father and repeated relocations, which contributed to his fearlessness and relentless pursuit of achievement in performance, even when personal safety was at stake. Professionally, Perry faced constant physical danger, breaking over 20 bones and enduring a back injury that could have ended his career. Yet he persisted, cultivating a reputation as the dean of Hollywood stuntmen, while receiving modest financial compensation for work that was both demanding and perilous. Off-screen, his life reflected the same intensity: brief, turbulent marriages, conflicts with colleagues over safety standards, and a relentless drive that often left him isolated. Perry's greatest failure was the lack of recognition and financial reward for his daring contributions, a common plight for stunt professionals of his era. He passed away on September 18, 1985, at age 85, from a heart attack, leaving behind a net worth likely under $500,000 accumulated from decades of physically demanding but poorly compensated labor. His life and career serve as a stark illustration of courage, personal sacrifice, and the hidden hardships behind Hollywood's visual spectacle, embodying the uncelebrated heroism of those who literally risked everything to create moments of cinematic magic. Charles Seale, born April 29, 1897, in New York City, was 68 when he appeared in F Troop in 1965 as Abijah Mims, the cranky, mischievous settler who added chaotic charm to Fort Courage's frontier antics. Mims's sly manipulations and unpredictable temperament made him both a comedic anchor and an unpredictable element in the storyline, endearing him to viewers while creating tension within the narrative. Seale's early life was riddled with hardship, born to immigrant parents in an overcrowded urban environment. He endured poverty, frequent illness, and relentless teasing from peers, all of which forced him to develop a sharp wit and an ability to adapt quickly to survive. Professionally, Seale's career was a study in perseverance, often typecast as minor characters. He faced repeated rejection for leading roles and uncredited work navigating Hollywood's rigid hierarchy with determination. Behind the scenes, he dealt with personal insecurities, financial instability, and the emotional toll of remaining largely in supporting roles, which sometimes sparked bitter confrontations with colleagues and production staff. Seale's personal life was equally complex. Marital difficulties, family estrangements, and the strain of living a life frequently overshadowed by professional demands shaped a man who was both dedicated and private. He weathered the death of friends and family, enduring grief while continuing to perform into his later years. Seale passed away on April 19, 1980, at age 82, leaving behind a modest legacy with a net worth likely under $500,000 accumulated from decades of consistent, if understated, contributions to stage, film, and television that secured his place as a dependable and respected character actor of his generation. Henry Gibson, born September 21, 1935 in Philadelphia, was 30 when he appeared in F Troop in 1966 as Private Rongo Starr, the hapless soldier whose every attempt at heroism descended into comic disaster. Rongo Starr's combination of poetic musings, melodramatic flair, and spectacular misfortune created a character that was simultaneously tragic, endearing, and uproariously funny, solidifying Gibson as a unique comedic talent. Gibson's childhood was marked by both economic constraints and emotional challenges. Growing up in a post-war lower-middle-class household, he endured a critical, sometimes harsh, domestic environment and limited opportunities, shaping a quick-wit, resilient personality and an affinity for satire and wordplay. Professionally, Gibson's trajectory blended notable successes with periods of struggle. While he earned acclaim on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In and in films like Nashville and The Blues Brothers, he faced frequent typecasting, creative disagreements with directors, and occasional frustration from producers over his unconventional methods and penchant for improvisation. Off-screen, he nurtured a deep love for poetry and voice work, sometimes prioritizing artistic pursuits over mainstream popularity, which contributed to tensions with colleagues. Gibson's personal life was no less complex, encompassing tumultuous relationships, the pressures of sustaining a private life, amid rising fame and emotional resilience in the face of family illness and health challenges. Despite these obstacles, he maintained a long and varied career, demonstrating remarkable versatility. Gibson died on September 14, 2009, at age 73 from cancer in Los Angeles, leaving a net worth estimated at $8 million accumulated from decades of work in television, film, and voice acting, reflecting a career that balanced commercial success with a commitment to distinctive, often daring, artistic expression. James Gregory, born December 23, 1911 in New York City, was 54 years old when he joined F Troop in 1966 as Major Duncan, the rigid, authoritative officer whose stern demeanor constantly collided with the bumbling antics of Fort Courage's soldiers. Major Duncan became a memorable figure in the series for embodying the strict military archetype while inadvertently amplifying the comedy through his frustration and exasperation. Gregory's childhood was far from easy. Growing up in a working-class family during the Great Depression, he faced financial hardship, emotional distance from his parents, and repeated instances of ridicule and social marginalization. Experiences that honed his resilience and fueled the commanding presence he later brought to stage and screen. His career trajectory was marked by impressive highs and frustrating lows. After early success on Broadway, he experienced several professional setbacks due to typecasting as stern authority figures, often clashing with directors over his interpretation of roles and demanding perfection from co-stars. Gregory reportedly struggled with alcohol during his younger years, an issue he eventually overcame, though it temporarily hindered his professional reliability. In his personal life, he faced tumultuous relationships and bouts of isolation, often retreating into work to compensate for the instability of family ties. Major losses, including the death of close friends and colleagues, tested his endurance, and he endured health challenges in later years. Despite these obstacles, he maintained a prolific career in film, television, and theater. He passed away on September 16, 2002, at age 90, from natural causes in Los Angeles, leaving an estate valued at an estimated $10 million, reflecting decades of dedication and a legacy of commanding performances that left an indelible mark on audiences and industry peers alike. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey through classic television history. If you enjoyed learning about the cast of F Troop and where they are now, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more vintage Hollywood retrospectives, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your memories and suggestions, so let us know which TV show or movie cast you'd like us to feature next.